Tap, tap, tap in. 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 Tap, tap, tap in.
Hey everybody, welcome to Tap In Tuesday with your girl TT from the D, and I am super excited about tonight. I am bringing back something some of you are familiar with, and I had a couple of chit chats with some of you that we did an Industry Connect a few months ago, last season and the season before, and it was so dope that I was able to get a few of my friends to come back through and reconnect. This time is solely based off of nationally, internationally known DJs. They have made a wave not only for themselves individually, but for some of the most amazing artists. I used only one artist that they can, I say, officially be tied to say that they are that particular artist or that particular group official DJ, but they are men in their own right. They've left their own footprints across the sky. They've traveled the sun many, many times, and they have just made an imprint. And I feel like tonight is going to be such a blessing to not only other DJs who are just entering the game, but even some of our veteran DJs. I've talked to some of you, and you actually were excited to hear about this coming up and said you were going to tune in because you wanted to learn something. And that's a humbling thing, especially when people have their own lane. And one thing I know is that when you do something, you're gifted and God has given you a skill set. You're not in competition with anybody, right? You're in your lane all by yourself. So let me tell you. So I know, like, I have these three amazing DJs. I have DJ Invisible tonight that's coming on. He's D12's official DJ. I have DJ Benny Demas, who's a good friend too. He's coming through. He's Akon's official DJ. And then we also have DJ KRock coming through, who's MC Lyte's official DJ. Now, DJ Invisible is going to be popping in and popping out because he is actually on location. And he's doing this thing. And I'm like, dang, he could have canceled and said, hey, TT, I'm going to need to reschedule. But this is what professional people do. They chime in, and I'm going to do my thing by making sure they get in and get out. So I'm going to bring them in one by one. I know DJ KRock is arriving soon, but I do have the extreme pleasure to have these guys. So let me share something with you, because you may be saying to yourself, like, all right, TT, let me see who you're talking about. All right. So the first person I'm bringing to the stage is going to be DJ Invisible. And I'm bringing him on because I want to get him in and out, but I got to bring my other brothers in, DJ Big D, DJ KRock. I'm super excited because this is going to be a dope ass show. Don't think that I didn't tell you. So I think you need to take some notes. You can record it however whatever you want to do. They're going to drop some jewels as they always do. So we're going to bring first up DJ Invisible. What's up, fam?
What up, y'all?
Welcome to TT from the D podcast.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me, TT.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I know you in your zone. You're doing your thing. I'm gonna bring in my other two brothers. I'm gonna get stuff going, and then I know you got to do that off. But I appreciate you taking time out tonight.
Let's go.
That's what's up. Next up, we got the one and only TT in the building. Welcome, fam. Welcome. How are you?
Respect. All is good. All is good.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining this round table. DJ Invisible is in his home. I know you recognize what that looks like. So
Yeah.
he a real G for showing up, even though he's doing this thing. So I appreciate that. And then I know we got DJ KRock picking up. So tonight it's gonna be a little bit different. From what we've done before. You've done this with me a few times. DJ Invisible, this is his first time, so y'all can show him the ropes a little bit. So Benny D, this is DJ Invisible, Benny D.
Respect, King.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but good things about you. Swift talks about you all the time, bro. So good to finally meet you on this in person.
Good. Respect.
I'll catch you in person.
Much love.
So on another note, you guys did the show here in Detroit, and my daughters went to the show, and they had the best time.
Okay, yeah.
And it was
Dope.
I got a chance to say, so with those to DJ, they were like, yeah, Dad, whatever. They are so over me as an entertainer.
Yeah. So TT, I'm not hearing y'all too well.
Carl.
I'm not sure. I think it's coming through the regular part of my phone and not the speaker.
You want to try to switch it a little bit?
I'm trying to look at everything, but I'm not sure what's supposed to be happening. But let me try to come out and then come back in and see if that helps.
Okay, cool beans. Okay.
I'll be right back.
All right, cool beans. All right, next up, I'm bringing DJ KRock in the building.
Yo.
Hey, what's up? What's up, fam? Welcome.
What's the dealio?
You know what it is. We about to have this hot, dope show. We got DJ Invisible is in the building. You can see he doing his thing.
DJ Invincible, what's happening with you, brother? Peace.
Brother, man, it's an honor to be on the call with you.
Same here, man. Same here. For sure.
That's what's up. So KRock, Benny D is coming back. Okay, I think we're here.
Okay.
You're good.
Now I can hear it much better. I didn't know what was happening before.
Okay.
Peace, Benny D. Peace.
Respect, KRock. Respect. Yes, sir.
Oh, y'all make me feel like I need to DJ. Like, y'all got this code. I'm like, okay. Well, I want to thank you so much, fellas, for taking time. I know you guys are super busy. So I'm not gonna, normally DJ Invisible, this is his first rodeo. So y'all know how I can be, and y'all know it's always a fun time. But I promise y'all, I'm gonna keep us at the hour. I'm watching it. Swifty was like, TT, make sure you got him on point, because y'all be having a time. I'm like, right, stay focused, got you.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna kind of go with DJ Invisible because he's actually doing a gig tonight. He's doing an event, and I want to get him in and I want to get him out so he can focus over there. So the introduction, this is tonight. We're calling this the Industry Connect. You guys are gurus in your own right. You've traveled the world. You've worked with amazing people, but you're amazing all by yourself. And I'm grateful for having the opportunities to be able to have met you guys, of course, through the industry. And people would be surprised to know that I didn't meet you guys because of Swifty. Well, I did and I didn't. Like, it wasn't like, hey, this is my wife, TT. No. When I met, I think, Benny D, I've known you the longest.
Yeah.
When I met you, no, actually, I known DJ Invisible by my cousin Keisha. Oh, yeah, right. When I was a teenager. Oh my God. Okay. So, but officially, Benny D, I met you back in probably like 2006.
2000, either 2005 or 2006. I remember which one.
2005 or 6. Mm-hmm. And Swift was opening up for Akon.
Yeah.
And he sent me out to finish the last part of the negotiations. And I met the guy from the company and met you and your team.
Yeah.
And then that's when the storm came, and then Akon couldn't show up, and you rocked that joint yourself.
Yeah.
That's why I know DJs are amazing, because you're able to run a show. You know it, and you can run it. Right. And that was just, and the crowd loved it because, like, you a show all by yourself. Right. So
appreciate
I had that opportunity. And then I see you, DJ Invisible. And so with KRock, I had the pleasure of meeting KRock a few years ago by way of Face, who does security. Yes, Big Face. Shout out to Face, who does security for a lot of artists. And then Swifty and KRock jailed, right? Just like Benny D and Swifty. And it was just like, dang. So I still formulated my own pathway. And for you two fellas, you guys were giving me the yeses, just like what you need, TT. Just if I'm available, I got you. And it was always authentic. So I'm grateful for you guys with DJ Invisible. It's like he's been rocking with D12. And when I realized who he was, I'm like, dang, I know him. I was like, ask me if you know my cousin. So it was just like, okay, here we go. Then when I had the chance to visit him when there was on the Canadian tour, met his family, and then it was like, okay, I'm seeing this industry connect. And it just brings you to that formula of we're always one person away from knowing each other. Like you guys do your own thing and you've worked. Have you guys had, let me ask this question. Have you ever worked on the same tour yet?
No, we haven't yet.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think for the artists that we're talking about in particular, with KRock with MC Lyte, Invisible with D12, and myself with Akon, the eras and the music doesn't have us on the same stages too many times, or have us within the same areas too many times. You know what I mean? So that's what would separate us. But as DJs, we can all link up at any time and stuff like that, because as a DJ, you just know how to DJ. Not saying that as an MC or as a singer, you don't know how to do that, but that is different in terms of the eras, or in terms of the styles of music, is what would or wouldn't put us on the same stages or in the same buildings together.
That's so interesting.
No, hold on a second. I didn't even for an exhibit for 20 years. I played festivals with both of you guys. So I played a festival with exhibits. I was on the festival.
Yeah.
MC Lyte did a song with exhibits. I did the greatest on that song, and it never came out for some reason.
Wow.
I was so mad about it. It was like 10,000. And I was like, yo, we get ready to start with Lyte. And then it like, it didn't come out with Sony, and the song never started Lyte again.
Yeah.
The circle is a lot tighter, and the world is like, when it comes to the people,
Yeah,
the world
yeah.
is like, when it's off, it's that like 2 or 3 degrees separation.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Right now, I'm doing a private party for suburban 8th grade school. So I got like 300 8th graders, which is hilarious. I'm playing Cotton Eye Joe right now. Everybody keeps thinking I would DJ anything. I will do it.
I could hear it right now.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I played this morning, so I played Afrobeat, reggaeton.
Yeah. That's how it goes. That's how it goes.
Wow. No, you're good. I forgot you do DJ. Okay, for exhibit. That's right. So now you see, that's another layer to it. So you guys have been in, just maybe not like how we might come to the dressing room and kick it with you for a minute, but you're passing. You know, it's
Right.
just like
Sure.
when I initially met Swifty, and I guess it makes a lot of sense with you how you broke it down, Benny. When I met Swifty, I danced a background for a rapper, a local rapper who opened up for D12 and M. And I remember in passing, they didn't interact. It was like, yeah, we're in the same venue. We're opening up. Y'all the headliners. Y'all going on, and we're going this way. So
Very funny story on that in particular. In 2007, when we toured with Gwen Stefani, me being, of course, the musical director for Akon, there's a lot more things that I do just than the DJing part. But I had to make my set list for the show, and I didn't know exactly. This was my first real tour, so I didn't know exactly where I was supposed to go, who I was supposed to talk to, whatever is the case. And I just seen a production office. I went into the production office and asked them kindly, hey, is it possible for me to make my set list? Because I see you guys have a computer and a printer. Of course, yeah, come on. You know, and they let me do my set list and everything like that. So when I got back to our tour manager, he asked me, hey, you need to make your set list? I said, oh, no, I already got it done. So he was like, how did you get it done? I said I went into the production office right down here, and they let me, print out my stuff. He was like, no, 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 hold up, fam, hold up. We don't talk to the other artists. We don't mix with the crews. We just don't do that. You don't do that on tour. So I was like, well, I'm from the Virgin Islands, and that's not how we do things. You know what I'm saying? We talk, we interact, we get to know each other. That's what I do. But he kind of got, a little agitated at that because for the way that he handles his touring stuff, artists on the tour usually do not mix with each other. This was some thing of how they did their thing, you know what I'm saying? And that just wasn't my way of doing things. And eventually I started going around and hanging out with Gwen Stefani's dancers, her band, her herself. Next thing you know, by the middle of the tour, Gwen Stefani is hanging out in our dressing room. I'm riding on the tour bus with the dancers. Sometimes the band is hanging out or eating with us in the cafeteria. So by the ending of the tour manager came to me and he said, "Man, Benny D, I just gotta apologize to you for the beginning of the tour because what you did is something that I've never seen happen before. But I guess you just have this type of aura and this energy around you where you can actually bring all of these people together because I've never known to do that. I've always known that our group is our group and we don't mix with nobody else's group. You see what I'm saying? So it's become a thing for me now. Whenever I go on tour, I try my best to get in with all of the people that we're on tour with because when you're on tour, it's like living in the same house.
Yep.
We're all in the same house. So sometimes I might need to do something to help you. You might need to do something to help me. And if we help each other, it makes the whole tour look better, go by better. You know what I'm saying? Like everything just works better when we all working together. So um, we started doing that. We started actually mixing and mingling now. But you're correct. You're back then, you could see people just walk by each other and not say a single word.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That sucks. I can't imagine that. And having the personality that you do, and even like KRock, like all three of you, I know you individually. So having that type of personalities y'all have, I can't fathom seeing y'all not communicating with others. I definitely could see y'all doing exactly what you did, Benny D, going and hanging on there looking for you, like, oh, he over with the other camp. He talking to
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Definitely.
you know
Yeah.
what, TT?
Yeah.
There's too many artists that are just so hard. You know what I mean? And some artists need to loosen up and realize, yo, you can have fun, you can smile, you can laugh, you can talk, you can get along with other artists.
Yeah.
And you never know, you might do a feature with that artist if you just open up. You know what I mean?
KRock, forget the feature, KRock. You
Yeah,
might gain a new friend.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
actually might gain a new friend.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? You could get to learn things about that person and their culture, where they're
Exactly.
from, just as they could learn from you and your culture and where you're from.
Exactly.
And also, if me and KRock is on the same tour, me and Invisible is on the same tour, there might be something that either one of those guys do DJ wise, professional wise, that I'm like, man, how do you do that?
Yeah, of course. I
So
mean,
now we can learn from each other. You
we
see
just
what
did a
I'm saying?
show. We just did a show in Gary, Indiana, right?
Yes.
And one of the DJs, we was doing sound check, and I knew we had a little issue with sound check, so I heard like EPMD's DJ go up there and do a sound check, and the sound man didn't have the turntables right, and matter of fact, the turntables were bad. We kept switching them out. Nah, that wasn't right. Nah, that wasn't right. That one was bad. So we had to put those bad ones to the side. Because we had to do it on my set on sound check.
Mm-hmm.
So after they couldn't get those turntables, those 12s right, the next option was the Rain 12s. And he was like, yo, I never DJ'd on Ring 12s. I said, bro, they just like turntables. Don't sweat it. I'm gonna teach you. I'm gonna teach you right now. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we hooked up the Rain 12s. We got the Rain 12s to work and everything. I said, just pretend they're turntables without the needles. That's it. Go ahead, do your
Yeah.
thing. So he was up there just scratching, and he was like, yo, this is all right. I said, set your mixer how you always have your mixer, for your
Yeah.
fader. And he said it, and he was up there practicing. He said, yo, man, appreciate it. I left. He hit me up on IG, and he was like, man, I didn't get a chance to tell you how thankful I was, you know what I mean, that you helped me out. You know what I mean? There's so many cats that'll sit there and look at you, go through what you go through and know what to do to help you, but won't help you.
Yeah.
I'm not that cat. If I can help, I'm going over there. I'm going to help you. I'm a people person. You know what I'm saying? Been in this industry too long to not see somebody fail. I don't want to ever see a DJ fail. So if I have the wisdom to help somebody out, so that they can get through their show,
So,
I'm going to give them that wisdom. I'm going to talk to
so,
them. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Regardless if you ever talk to me, after that or not, but you're going to remember what I did. You know?
The DJ fraternity is the coolest place on fraternity, or whatever it is. DJs I've noticed on tour always come through. Like what you talking about, like setting up the Ring 12, the DJs talking about DJ gear is like it doesn't matter what language you talk, you can help another DJ
Yeah.
send in 1200 without being able to speak their language. And now that we're moving on to like the Ring 12 and all this other computer stuff, like you can help another DJ. That's a beautiful thing, but you gotta have it interaction with other DJs. And it's just so cool. It's like, oh, great, I want to go.
Yeah. All day. Yeah.
I like the unity. And I think that's what when it boils down to is that you're right. If something, because I know there, Benny D, you've told me this before. You were out on tour with, I forgot who you went out with. It could have been Akon, but then, if I remember correctly, did you ended up DJing with TLC? Am I remembering that right?
Yeah. I DJed for TLC for 4 years, and I DJed for Eve for 3 years. But this was all in my time of DJing with Akon. So I was like with them and still with Akon at the same time, mixing, both of them. Yeah.
And that brings me to this question. And I said, I answered a question for my sister, Benny D. She wanted to know where you were from. I said the Virgin Islands, right?
Oh, okay. Appreciate it.
So she says, very cool, TT. Oh, I bet they'll play a lot of music that'll make me dance the whole night. Pretty much, Victoria, pretty much. So this is my question for you guys individually. Knowing that you guys are gurus in your own right, just to give the people who may be familiar, may not be familiar, I would love for you to give a little brief overview of how long you've been in the industry, who you've worked with. I know who you're the official DJ too, but just to give them some insight. I'm gonna shoot out with DJ Invisible. So he taking a request. Could you? Yeah. Did you hear that question? I know I heard you taking a request. I'm like, oh my dad. Okay, so the question was,
I think it was how long I've been in the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been in it for a long time at Lamp Farm Highway. My first gig was there for a career record now. I've been in public interviews with across the USA. And I did a whole bunch of night stuff. I did a show with KRock. This DJ wasn't going with them. He said that he was going to take me on the road. I got to the airport or got to the hotel, and he was like, yeah, I decided I'm taking the popular DJ from every city. And then, hold on a second, I started talking and then with the song. Yeah. We did 8th grade parties, but the worst thing ever is just paying too much to say no to. So, I got to the hotel, and this was like, so check it out. So take the hot DJ from every city, and I had to call my dad to pick me up in the hotel. I got dropped off with all my luggage, thinking I'm going on tour with KRock.
Wow.
After that, yeah, that was sick. After that, I came to like on the first Anger Management tour, and he went on tour with Exhibit for years. And then he got more into the cannabis business, so that's when we gave a
I'll have you back. I'll have you guys back. Absolutely. Wow. You know what? He could have just told me, TT, I'm gonna have to hook up with y'all the next run.
I swear to you.
Yeah, and I appreciate him though, because that was love. When Swifty told me, I'm like, oh, he could just. He was like, nope, he gonna show up because he said he would, and I'm like, dang.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna get him in to get him out. So my next question will go over KRock. How long have you been in the industry, and what's some of the people you've worked with?
I want to say been in the industry since '87. '87. Been with Light. DJ for Rod Digger, you know, one or two shows. Moni Love, one or two shows. Yo Yo, you know, a couple of shows. But mainly with Light, you know. That's my girl, you know, and that's my fam, you know. So I don't really drift off into, you know, trying to, you know, DJ with other people. But, you know, the opportunity is there. They need me. I'm there, you know.
Okay. All right, Benny D, the same question to you. How long have you been in the industry and some of the people you've worked with?
So professionally, I always say my professional career started, I would say about 2002, just before I met Akon in 2003. Of course, I was DJing for our city. We moved to America together. I started DJing from 1987. So I was in the 4th grade when I started DJing. I was 10 years old. But professionally, I didn't get to be a professional until just before I met Akon. So 2002, 2003, and beyond. So I've been with Akon now for 21 years. In between that, of course, I've DJed for TLC, for Eve, Chantel, Melanie Fiona, Cardinal Official, our city, of course, like I said, Fat Man Scoop. Few people here and there, you know, there's a few others I'm not remembering right now, but like KRock said, once or twice, you know, I've had to go out with someone and spin for someone. But you know, now I'm moving into more of the management space. So managing our city, I manage Jada Kingdom. I've had Jada Kingdom now, who's from Jamaica. I've had her for like the past 6 years. So that's been going pretty good, you know. And, you know, we still out here shaking and moving. Akon has a new resurgence now. So as you see TT last year, you came on tour with us. You came to the show for the tour, you and Swifty. And we just now finished Europe on tour. And now we're getting ready to do another American tour for the amphitheater. So, you know, we have another resurgence that's happening now. Akon is ready to drop new music, and you know, we're moving.
Wow. Yeah, that was a awesome show.
Thank you.
We've talked about it, like, yo, when you come through, we're gonna come check it out. And then I was coming from work and I was riding by the theater. I said, I said, let me call Benny D. I said, hey Swift, did you know? I said, let me call Benny D. You was like, come on down. Y'all coming? I got you. I
Yeah.
just come down. I'm like, let me hurry up, get home, get fresh up so I can come out.
Yeah.
And it was like a time was had. And when I tell you, watching the different, because me and Swifty was like, yeah, we feel like we old heads up in the crowd, right? And so watching young people our age and even older vibe.
Yeah,
And it
everybody was there.
boom, boom, boom. There was no, oh, we taking a time. It was pop, 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 pop. Banger after banger after banger after banger. Y'all energy was to the 10th power. I don't know how y'all do it, but I was tired and I was standing still.
Listen, when we did the Toronto show, Cardinal Official came out, who's one of my closest friends also, and he said he only had one problem or one issue with our performance. It was that he was having hit fatigue, and I didn't understand what that was, you know. But you know, so of course I'm like, well, what's hit fatigue? And he said it was like, it was so many records, like big records that Akon has. You actually forget that he has so many big records that you couldn't scream anymore, you couldn't clap anymore, you couldn't stand up and cheer anymore, and there was still more records coming. So it was like, you know, you kind of got exhausted by how many records were hitting you in that hour and a half show that we had, and it's an hour and a half straight.
Yep.
It's we have no breaks at all. An hour and a half. And the way that I ended up putting that show together was because before that I was in Toronto with Cardinal, and we went to the 50 Cent concert.
Mm-hmm.
And when I seen how 50 Cent put together his concert, he had probably 1.5 to 2 seconds in between each record. And I was like, Con, 50 probably has the hands down the best hip hop show I've ever seen in my life. If we don't get on that level or that point of what I felt being there, we're not doing nothing. So he's like, okay, what did you see? And I just broke it down, and we went into the studio, put the show together, and it was like, okay, here we go.
When I tell you, I remember you having that conversation with Swifty and I at the concert, and and he said the same thing. He was like, I gotta take what Benny D shared and share it with the camp.
Yes.
And so as they started formulating and doing stuff and incorporating things, it's like, what I love about what you said and what you did, you were unafraid to share the knowledge, the wisdom, and the homework.
Mm-hmm.
And I think KRock, you said something a little earlier about people, if they just stop trying to worry about not being that way, like help each other out. That huge jewel that you dropped didn't harm you, because you're doing what you need to do. Exactly. You're gonna rock and shine wherever you go, however you get there. Exactly. Sharing it with your fellow brothers, sisters, whomever, anyone who's willing to take the knowledge. I think I do things on a different level. Y'all know I do the production stuff, but I feel the same way. When I stay Spanish, I do the same thing.
When you're dealing with last minute things and you're running into jams, you know, because here's the thing. We have the most important part of the night. We run the music. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And when and if the music is not sounding good, you know, if something happens, who do they turn back and look at? They look at us.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So we have to make sure when we do sound check that it has to be so on point. Everything sound good. Everybody's in-ears is good. Everybody, you know, they're using monitors. Their monitors are good. Everything has to be on point, because once they announce, hey, MC Lyte, we drop it. And from that
Yeah.
point on, if we got 30, 45 minutes, 50 minutes, we killing them. You know what I mean? And we giving them what we got. But if that sound ain't right, that artist is just is gonna fake it until it just can't fake it no more and be like, yo, what's going on? You
Yeah.
know? But we
And then
had a problem.
they always ask us the question, KRock.
Yeah.
They
But
ask us
here's
the
the
question like, hey, Benny, what's up with my mic? I'm
yeah.
like,
So let
I'm
me
not the
tell you a
monitor
story.
engineer.
Let
You know,
me
what's
tell
up
you
with
a
the
story.
monitors? I'm not the monitor engineer. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
So let me tell you this story. 2 weeks ago, we had a show in Columbia, Ohio, right? Light usually doesn't come to sound check. I usually do the sound check. The
Same for
MD,
Akon. Yeah.
MD Sean, he does, we do the sound check and we try and get through it. I love it when we go there and everything is up. The mics is ready, everything's turned on, the monitors are ready, in-ears is ready, 15 minutes, we done. You know what I mean? We heading back to the hotel, getting dressed for the night. But this particular day, 2 weeks ago, when we was in Columbus, Ohio, it took us about 2 hours, 2.5 hours to do sound check. When we finally got sound check beautiful, in-ears was straight, monitors straight, music was straight, lights, everything, light came. And Light was like, all right, cool, we got it straight. Set it, save it, you know what I mean? Telling the sound man. Showtime came, everything was messed up. In-ears was messed up. I had somebody's mix in my in-ears. I couldn't hear nobody in my monitor. I mean, everything was flipped around. You know why? He didn't save the mix. You talking about me, a person 38 hot? I cussed him out. Do you hear me? I cussed that sound man out. Everybody on that stage was scared to talk to me because I was 38 hot. Because I'm passionate about my music. You know what I'm saying? I'm passionate about my show, and making sure the music is fine, making sure MC Lyte is shining. You understand what I'm saying? Making sure the band members sound, the keyboard, the drummers, everybody is hitting. Yo, the drummer, you couldn't even hear the kick. It sounded so flat,
Wow.
And when I said I was mad, I was cussing it. They was trying to come. Well, we're sorry. I don't want to hear it. In the middle of the show, leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? Let me do what I got to do to make sure this night goes successful at this point. So the problem is you got sound men that don't know how to do sound. You understand? And they don't know how to work that board, and save the settings. It's very important that you have, when you're on a certain level in this game, it's very important that you have your own sound people. You need stage sound man and you need a house sound man. Because here's the thing. Once you set it and you got your own sound man that knows what they're doing and it's set, it's going to be like that when it's showtime. You might have to twerk it a little bit, because you got more people depending on if it's an outside event or an inside event. But at least you got your own peoples that's going to make sure you're right. You know what I mean? But these are the things that we run into, when we on the road, I mean, there's stories upon stories upon stories that, I'm pretty sure Benny and I can tell you that, that'll make you just go, wow. And I'm pretty sure Swifty can tell you as well. You was there.
Shared some stories. Yeah, he
So
shared some stories.
the importance of the DJ and the MD, you know what I mean? Making sure that artist is shining and sounding good. That's a lot of weight on us. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of weight on us. So that's why when they messed that music up, man, I was so passionate and so mad, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, when I get off stage, I want to be like, well done. You know what I'm saying? Well done. So I'm telling you, this music business, these sound men, these people, you just don't know about them. You gotta bring your own people on the road, and this way you can have the correct sound that you need to shine. Because the people in the audience, they don't know what's going on.
Right.
And sometimes they'll blame it on the DJ. Sometimes they'll blame it on the artist, but not knowing it's the sound man.
And that brings me to this question for you guys. And I'll ask you, Benny, first. Walk us through how you prepare for a show. From the moment you wake up in the morning, you have a performance this day. Walk us through what that looks like. Because I heard you both say you do sound check for your artists, but walk us through a day in the life of a DJ.
Well, all preparation comes differently because some artists only have the DJ on stage. Some artists has a DJ and a band. For Akon, we have a DJ and a band. For TLC, we had DJ and band. With Eve, we only had DJ, right? So we have a particular time of when we're supposed to be getting over to the venue for sound check.
Mhm.
So anytime before that in the morning, you can have your breakfast. You could, lay out. You could listen to music. Everybody has their own preparation differences. Um, but depending on where you go, sometimes sound check might be 8 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? So if that's the time, you got to be up and ready to roll. 6 o'clock in the morning, get something to eat, leave the hotel at 7 a.m. to be there for 8 a.m. Or other times it's later on in the afternoon, right? But once you get over to the venue, like KRock was saying, he loves when he get there and everything is already set up, ready to go, so that you can just play your music, make sure the levels are correct, and then you can go about your business. But sometimes you get there and levels ain't correct. So you got to spend more time trying to tweak and maneuver things differently. Sometimes my monitors for my speakers might be placed wrong. So you want to have them placed in different ways. That's how you would need it as the performer. Everybody's different of how they like a certain thing to be done. So, and just like KRock said, Akon doesn't come to sound checks. He very rarely, I would say, very, very rarely that he will come to sound check. So it's left on me to be able to command my crew, in which I do have a front of house engineer, I have a monitor engineer, I have techs for my for the stage, I have a stage manager, I have a drum tech, so all of these people have to come back to me now to make sure they're getting the approval, like, okay, Benny, is this correct? Is this how it should be sounding? Is this how it should be looking? Because not only is the sound on me, but I also have to talk to the lighting director, the LD. I got to talk to visuals, the person that's dealing with the LED walls. Um, Sometimes I might remember that on our 16th song, the image that I seen on the visuals wasn't in the right place. So I might have to go at the LED guy and be like, hey, let me see the visual for that particular record and make whatever adjustments that needs to be made because it's not hitting correctly for what we're doing. See, the artist, as KRock knows, we have to let them just be the artist. Come out there, do your performance. It's on us now to make sure everything else comes together behind of them. You know what I'm saying? And in front of them, of course, because the audience is in front. So we're trying to make sure that the audience that's listening is hearing what they're supposed to hear. Everything sounds good. Everything looks good. It's on us to do a lot of that type of stuff. So once we finish doing sound check, we may get back to the hotel. Of course, I wear a suit on stage. So for me, I have to now go get my suit out of my suitcase. I got to get it pressed and everything like that to get ready to go back over to the venue at least 2 hours, an hour at the latest before the show, right? Then within that time, then I got to deal with my stage manager, make sure he has my set list printed out exactly how it's supposed to be, as in the order that we're doing it in, make sure everything is spelled correctly, make sure the CD that we're in is on top of the set list. Because the worst thing that you want an artist to do is say, good night, New Jersey, and we're in Gary, Indiana. Right?
Okay.
That is the absolute worst thing that you want to do. So you always have to make sure, and the artist isn't thinking about that. The artist is coming to the venue, getting their mic, walking on stage. That's what the artist is supposed to do at these levels. So it's on us to make sure everything else is tightened up as we go along. Then, of course, as this time getting closer to showtime, um, I go around and I start letting everybody know. Or my stage tech would probably come and let me know, Benny, we got 30 minutes, right? In which means it's time for me to start putting my suit on. I will go and tell Akon, hey, 30 minutes. So he would start getting dressed. The band will start getting ready and everything like that. Then they go out before I do because they got to get in place. They got to put on their in-ears and stuff. Me and Akon don't use in-ears. We, yeah, we feel like for us, we never came up on in-ears, and we're a bit too wild of performers, I would say, for in-ears, and we don't want anything flying off of us and stuff like that. So the least that we can have on us in that way is better for us. So we don't use in-ears. We rely on those monitors for us to hear what we need to hear. Once I got my guys in place, my band members are in place, then I can step up. Once I step up on my podium, that lets my visuals know to start the countdown. As you came to the concert, you see that before Akon comes out, there's a countdown that counts down, and then I start that music. And then, you know, we have a whole elaborate intro even before he walks on stage. So there's all kind of things that I have to do in preparation before the show starts. But of course, as you know too, once the show starts, people think because I'm so busy on stage and I'm flying on this side and up on speakers and jumping in the crowd and all of that, that I'm not seeing and hearing everything else that's supposed to be going on. So while I'm performing, I'm listening to what the monitors sound like. I'm looking at my drummer. I'm looking at my keyboard player. I'm looking at my bass player. I'm looking at the visuals that's on the screen. I'm looking at the lights, the colors of the lights that's hitting for certain songs. And I'm memorizing every single thing so that when I get off of the stage, hey, get me the lighting director. Hey, listen, man, on this record, you had blue and gold instead of red, yellow, and green. Those are the colors I need for this song. And then when you came in on this song, that song had already started, and then you started late. So all of these things I have to go to, you know what I'm saying? And make sure everybody's on point. Because for Akon, it's, hey man, we had a great show. I have to be the one to go around and tighten up on everything. So there's a lot of different things that goes into play for someone like myself in my field of what I'm doing. Now, other DJs, for other artists, they may only be the DJ. Someone else could be the musical director that's in charge of all of that type of stuff. So they wouldn't have to go through some of the things that myself and KRock will go through with dealing with all of the other members that's on stage. But for us being with these artists as long as we have, as KRock has been with Lyte for so long, I'm with Akon as long as I have for 21 years. Then they rely on us as an extension of themselves to know what they want and what they like to be able to convey that to everyone else. So they rely on us heavily for that type of stuff because, like KRock said again, Lyte isn't there during sound check. So she's not going to be telling, whether it's the band members or the sound techs and all of those guys, she's not going to be telling them anything. And because she's with KRock for so long, she's going to come to KRock. Hey, KRock, what we looking like? What we sounding like? Everything looks good? Are we good? Because she trusts him, just like Akon trusts me. So he's going to come to me. So in which means also, like we said earlier, not only are we going to get asked the questions because they trust us, we're also going to be the first line of blame.
Yes.
So anything that goes wrong on that stage, and I'm talking, this has nothing, I don't run the lights, but if a light doesn't hit the way it's supposed to hit and he sees that, he's not going to go to the LD. he's gonna come to me. Hey Benny, what happened on the lights right here? Don't, I got it. I'll take care of it, or I'm taking care of that right now. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we all have that extra position to play within the longevity of being with some of these artists. So I'm assuming KRock can agree on some of the things that I just
Oh
said.
man, I can agree on everything that you're saying. You understand? Because we basically go through the same thing, but the difference is Light has an MD, you know what I mean, which is Sean, the drummer, and he handles, you know, just as much as I do. You know what I mean? Because we work both side by side, making sure things is great. But how it starts is it all depends on the, for MC Light, it all depends on what venue we're doing. Now, if we're doing an outside event, a lot of outside events call for sound check starting in the morning. So that means we fly out the day before. You know what I mean? Because we coming from Bama. So, they don't have all the, planes going out every hour or whatever. Since COVID, they changed everything around. You know what I mean? So if it's an outside event, we leave a day before so we can do sound check that morning. If it's a, regular event, we performing in the evening, we fly out first thing that morning. So the day before or 2 days before, we're going over the show, trying to figure out, okay, have we been to this state before? Have we done this before? Because, we don't like doing the same thing, every time we go to that state. We always change it up. So
Okay.
what I do is I make a list, a file in my my Serato, my Scratch Live, DJ Pro, the whole nine, whatever you want to call it. I make a file of every city that we go to. So therefore, if we have to go back to that 6 months later, a year later, look, when we were there, we did this. Oh no, we got to change it up. So we're constantly changing the show to make sure it's banging and nobody gets the same, show. So we get there, we do sound check. Sean, talks to the visual guy. We're talking to the sound man, making sure the in-ears is fine. You're right. Them in-ears, I came up from the old school. We never dealt with the in-ears, I'm still getting used to it, So I got the in-ears plus my headphones on, you know what I mean? Trying to listen to Sean, because we like to be on point on the one. Let's go. Also, the visual guy has in-ears to talk, so Sean could talk to him and say, look, change it, play this, or no, that's not the right one, or whatever the case. So there's always communication. Sean is always communicating to everybody on stage. You know what I mean? We go ahead. If the sound is right, man, we loving it. I play certain songs at sound check to make sure that sub is there, it's hitting, you know what I mean? It's on point, making sure his drums, is there, it's hitting, that kick is banging, and we got to level the DJ and the drummer, because mainly we go out DJ and drummer. You know what I'm saying? When we have like almost headlining some events, we have to, give a longer show. We'll bring out some of the band members like Roscoe, he plays the keys. We might get some background, singers from that city, and, therefore that's why everybody has their, their in-ears so they can hear, because a lot of times when you do sound check, if that sound man is not right, they don't know how to, you'll get a lot of feedback from your monitors in your mic. You know what I mean? So a lot of people like to use in-ears to eliminate that monitor. You know what I'm saying? So they won't get feedback. But, Light knows she doesn't have to come to, sound check, because we're going to get it right. We're going to do her in-ears. We're going to do, her mic. We're going to make sure the mics with the music is done right. We're going to make sure everything's leveled and everything is tight. As far as the visuals, all of that showing through, throughout our performance, but we're getting ready to change that up too, because now she wants me to handle the videos. She wants to do that DJ experience while the videos is playing, and she's performing to that video, So, in doing all of that, we finish the sound check, we go back. Sometimes we don't even get a chance to go back to the hotel to change. You know what I'm saying? depending on the sound check, if it takes too long to get right, sometimes we got to stay because we might be staying 30 minutes or a little bit too far, or traffic might be bad in that city to go and come back. So me and Sean, we just stay. You know what I mean? But a lot of times, sound check is right. We get there early and the music is right. We in, we out. We back at the hotel, printing up, you know, the list for Light, putting it on center stage right up under her mic stand so she knows what songs, because she got a lot of hits. You know what I mean? Just like Akon got millions of hits. You know what I mean? You got to print out that list, because if you don't, you don't want to be unprofessional and be like, okay, what we doing next? A lot of artists do that.
Yeah.
A lot of artists like, yo, what we doing next, yo? Yeah. Okay. All right. No. You got to tighten up your show and you got to let it flow. You know what I'm saying? So when they look down and they see what's coming up next, they know how to introduce the next song, or, you know, it's automatically going to drop. You know what I mean? So, you know, to have a great sound on stage as well as in the audience, Light sounds good, that's a great day. She's getting off the stage saying, great show, fellas. Great show, fellas. When I hear that, we know what we did was on point. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's, you know, when you've done it for 30 plus years, you know, you want you know what you want. You know what you're looking for, you know, and you still have these sound men that just, they still don't get it yet, you know? And you have to, you know, sometimes I got to go over there and tell them, you know, hey, this is what we need. This is what, give me some more of that. No, don't hold out. Give me some subs, you know, turn the mix down a little bit. You know, we fine to it to the T because we know how our artist likes the sound and we know how we want the music to sound, you know, and at the end of the day, when everything works well and it's gelled together and everything's straight, you know, and you get that great job, I can sleep well. I can go home and be like, yeah, we did a hell of a job. You know what I'm saying? You know, so that's pretty much, and also too, Light like to change the show around. You know what I mean? And you got to be prepared with that. You know, she'd be like, nah, let's take that out. And it can be a few minutes, a half hour before we get ready to do a show. And I'm like, damn. All right, now what we doing? Let me go ahead and move this around. Let me go ahead and get that ready. Let me go ahead, put that after that. Okay, you want that? Okay, how long? So a life of a DJ for an icon, you know, rapper, you have to be prepared. You have to be on your skill. Your skills got to be up to par. Else, you know what? They don't need you no more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They don't need you no more. You can't handle all of this here. Then we need to find somebody else. You know, you need to find somebody else. So, but you know, that's the life of a DJ. You know, we are making sure that our artists that we work for, you know what I'm saying, is shining and shines bright, you know, and that's it.
Yeah, you guys carry a lot of weight. In the comments, people are like, dang, it's a lot of sacrifice, a lot of dedication that you guys carry. I was having a conversation with Swifty as I was preparing for my show, and shout out to Swifty.
What up, Swift?
Yeah. And it was just like, we talked about the importance of DJs, like how some groups, like sometimes you'll know the DJ before you know the artist, or you know of DJs, like new artists that are coming out, and then you hear about the DJ, like, oh, I know DJ so and so. For you guys being in the industry as long as you have, still being relevant, still filling up arenas, selling out shows. And I'm right at 1 hour, 1 minute. So I'm gonna ask one more question, and I'm gonna have y'all come back again for my part.
Look, you know we fam. You know. Time goes by quickly when you're giving details, you know, and these are things that people need to know and hear what, you know, us DJs, you know, go through and what we got to do, you know. And it's interesting to a lot of people, because a lot of people just don't know what goes on to put on a show and put on a great show, you know. So, you know, hey, that hour and 1 minute, that ain't nothing. If we go, you know, another 5-10 minutes, you know me, you fam. So whatever we gotta do. I'm at home. I'm chilling. I ain't gotta go nowhere right now. So I'm good.
Much
You
love, much
know.
love, much love. So let me ask you this: being as seasoned as you are, what is something that you wish you knew back when you first started that you learned now that you would have had in your tool belt?
Who you asking?
Anyone can take it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you,
KRock.
you spoke
Go
first. No,
ahead, D.
didn't you? You spoke. You spoke.
Go
You
ahead,
say.
D.
I mean, I'm not sure what I would have liked to know now that I wish I knew back then, just versus um the business, I would say. Maybe just that part, knowing the business. It took me a while to learn the business, um, how business works, how other people do business versus how you would like business to be done, being able to speak up on business, that type of stuff. You know what I mean? I wish I knew that when I first came in, but I don't think I would change any of it because the way that I learn and as I learn coming up, every time I had that aha moment, that helped me to know that I was growing. I was getting better in the industry. I was getting better in the business. Every time I learned something new, it was like, oh, okay, now I got it. And then it made me better as I went along. And that's what helped with my longevity also. It helped me to be in this industry for as long as I've been in it. And it's allowed me to keep the relationships that I've been able to keep because I've been able to always do good and clean business as I went along. Nobody has a bad name a bad thing to say about my name out there. Um, but there are I would be crazy to say that there aren't things that I wish I knew business wise earlier, so then I could have had more of what was owed to me or what I was supposed to have earlier versus finding out later and then had lost so much before. All of that is just gone now, what I could have had.
Yep.
And if you're gonna if you or your audience is gonna ask specifics, I would say I'm a producer also. So as a producer producing for some of these well-known artists, when I first got into the industry, I didn't know anything about my points, my royalties, my publishing. I didn't know anything about that stuff. I was just a talent making beats, making music. So those people were actually preying on young people that didn't know the business and was able to take away from them or use that as a gain for themselves. They were able to attach their names to your work.
Wow.
They were able to attach
Take
their
all the
names to
credit.
your work and get more percentage than you did for your own work. So those are things that I wish I could have known earlier. But like I said again, if I didn't go through it, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. And I wouldn't be able to speak the way that I speak now to either younger people or just people that don't know or don't realize. Because people always try to make it seem as if it's only young people that doesn't understand the thing. But no, sometimes some of the older folks don't know either. They just never learned. They never knew what it was like and stuff like that. So that would be the only thing. Just the business part of it for me that
And
I
I'd
wish
have
I knew earlier.
I'd have to say pretty much the same thing,
Yeah.
because when you get in this business, if people see that you green, they'll take advantage of you. I mean, they'll take whatever they can get out of you and suck you dry. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So, I knew a little bit, and as the years came, I grew to know more, you know. But in this business, you always have to keep your eyes and your ears open, man, because everything changes every year. you know Music changes,
Yes.
sound changes. You know, and you have to be on point. If you're a producer, you have to be on point. What's in, what sounds is in now. Right now, the industry is wide open for anything new that has a hook. You know what I mean? If you don't make no sense in your rap, as long as you got a dope hook, they looking for it, you know, and they looking to make money, you know. But right now, you can get everything you need to know through social media. You can get your stuff out faster than how we used to get our stuff out back in
The
the
internet.
days. We didn't have
The
social
internet.
media. Yeah, exactly. So we didn't have social media, say 30 years ago. You know, when we came out, it was just, we was barely getting computer, you know. It wasn't set up how it's set up now, where that these young people are coming out and they putting a song, soon as they hit send, it's all over the country, depending on who's their friend. It's in Japan in a matter of seconds. It's in UK in a matter of seconds. It's in Australia in a matter of seconds, you know. So technology has really came a long way since we first started. Well, at least I first started. You understand what I'm saying? And now you can take advantage of this technology and use it to your benefit to really reach areas that you never could reach before. You know, everybody has a phone now. They made it so efficient for everybody to have a phone, and everybody's on social media. Well, I wouldn't say everybody. You still got old school cats that are like, man, I don't feel like messing with that Facebook. I don't feel like messing with that IG. And definitely TikTok. Nah, man, I ain't on that TikTok, you know. But you have to be prepared in this business to know what's coming out, how it can benefit you as an artist, DJ, you know, and how far it can take you. You know, you have to be prepared for what this world is creating every year, every 6 months. You know, every 2 months, you know, iPhone is coming out with a new update. You know what I mean? That's how it is in the business. You got to be ready. You have to read. You have to pay attention. You have to really know what to do, because this future, we're in the digital age now. You know what I mean? There was no digital age back then. You know, only thing digital was your sound, you know, when you mixed it down, depending on how you mixed it down, you know. But now you don't need much equipment for your studio to create as you used to back then. We had a lot of outboard gear, you know, and you had to learn that outboard gear. Now that outboard gear is in the computer.
Yeah.
So now all you got to do is patch it in the computer, and it's like you're looking at your outboard gear and you're like, it's so obsolete now. You don't need it unless you have reel-to-reels or you have ADATs or DATs. You know what I mean? Unless you just want to get in the spirit of, let me go back and listen to this and see how it sounds on DAT. You know, everything's digital now. You know, everything's that a drop. As soon as you hit send, everybody got it. I can send a session to Benny and be like, yo, Benny, man, I need you to do some scratching on this right here on this hook, you know, at this counter, from that counter to this counter, whatever. And boom, he can do the scratches, send it right back to me.
Yep. Yep.
So it's the new age that we're in right now. And that's different from how we grew up. You know, the business is different. You know, the knowledge of the music business is somewhat the same, but it's a little different now because now we have streaming. We didn't have streaming back then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now we got streaming. So you have to be careful on what deals you make, you know, in this music business, so you can get the money that's due to you. And if you're not intelligent enough to know the business, you need to learn the business before you get in the business, so you know what's due to you and you won't have to wait 5-10 years to get some money. So we can go on and on about this. I'm gonna cut it short, but that's what it is, you know, we're in a new era right now. We're in the digital age, as to where before we wasn't in that age. So you have to be on your P's and Q's on what you're doing.
I'm gonna share this with you guys. Rashida, she said, let's not even talk about AI. And she's right, because I was just showing Swifty earlier. It's these two guys that in another country. They resemble Will Smith, and this is all over social media right now.
I
They
saw
resemble,
that.
you saw that.
Yes.
They look like Will Smith and Martin Lawrence.
Identical.
Identical.
But
But also,
they Latin or something. They Spanish or something.
they're Latin, yeah. And then they were able to use a little AI to kind of even make it look even more and do all these tricks. And I'm like, this it's scary, because it's kind of like, yeah, I'm sitting here interviewing DJ KRock, DJ Benny D, but what if I really wasn't? What, people are doing so many things with technology. Will it change? Like, you even have virtual concerts. I heard that there's a group that's from Japan that are virtual. They're not even real, and they're selling out concerts. And I'm like, what? And they're like, they're having these concerts, and they're not even real people. And I'm like, how? AI. So when you talk about knowing the business now, learning it the way you guys have learned it, I think your responses were great, one and the same. I think, but your old school knowledge, the way you handled business, and added on with the way you're learning it now, makes it even better for you guys, because some of the things from before that these younger people, these new people, have no clue about, like the points and the split sheets. And people don't tell these people that you learned about it along the journey. But some of these people coming in, like, they're like, what is a split sheet? I remember hearing somebody ask, like, hey, you got your split sheet? And I remember hearing this young artist say, what is a split sheet? And I was like, I'm the artist. I heard Swifty talk about it 1,000 times, but I was like, damn, I wonder. And you 2 albums in. So
As long as you didn't hear the next response was, don't worry, I'll take care of it.
Never get taken care of.
That's when you know you're in trouble.
Yes.
When an artist says, what's a split sheet? And you're like, I'll take care of it, don't worry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I heard them say that.
That means you ain't getting nothing, brother. You ain't getting nothing.
That's when you're in trouble.
You got to cover yourself. You got to protect yourself.
Yeah, and you also got to keep good people around you. You want to keep good people around you. That's why that's why me and Rock City are best friends up to now. Me and Cardinal Official, best friends up to now. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, all the relationships that I haven't gained within the industry. So the same way that I told y'all that I was on that Gwen Stefani tour, that same thing has rubbed off on the people at the company that I keep, where we're not afraid to share information with each other.
Right.
Whether it's to help you with your own play that you have going on, or it's for us to do something together. You see what I'm saying? We're not afraid to be able to give up the knowledge and help each other to make sure each other is not getting messed over or anything like that. And if you start having or keeping good people around you like that, then you can last a long time in this industry.
Yep. Because like you said earlier, man, your name out there in the industry is on high standards, good standards with people, because your aura, you know what I mean, and how you present yourself is pure. Just like me, I'm pure when I go to somebody. This is me. I'm not putting up no bougie facade, or I'm all of that or whatever. We've been in this business. This is what we do, but there are still so many people that's in this business that won't even just take the time out to even conversate with you, and it's sad because you're still alone. You're always going to be alone. You just loosen up, relax. You know what I mean?
Well, TT, I came outside myself to come and get y'all.
Yes, he did. Right? He came outside. He did. He's like, let me know when you get here. Come on inside with us. And I'm like, oh yeah, we're waiting. And he's like, no, I'm coming to get you. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I'm coming outside to get you. I don't care what it looks like. Any of that, I gotta make sure y'all are good. As soon as we were finished, I brought y'all up to the stage, brought y'all to the back. Like, I make sure of all that. So, KRock is right. When you're looking at yourself as some hierarchy from everybody else, that can be some of the worst type of people for you to deal with within this industry. You know what I'm saying? So things like that. I'm so happy that me and Akon born on the same day, that we're one in the same. The same type of attitude I have is the same attitude he has. I've seen Akon back in the day, of course, 21 years now, but so I've seen him signing autographs out on the street in the rain, and Akon would not say, "Hey y'all, it's raining, I gotta go." He will stand there and sign every single autograph for every single person that was asking for one.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that is the type of people that you want to be around, that you want to learn from in the business and stuff like that, because they're not taking themselves to some point of I can't mix and mingle with people anymore. I can't be reachable or touchable or any of that type of stuff. Whereas I do understand there are some artists who just, it really causes such a frenzy. I do understand that, but you know, in other instances, I just love to see when they're able to allow people around them and stuff like that.
When you have artists like that that take the time out and try and sign every autograph, those fans will stay with you to the end.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
And the thing about it is they're going to tell their friends what you did. You know what I
Sure.
mean? He took the time out in the rain. You know, he signed that autograph. I just love him. That stays with that, you know, with them fans for a long time, you know.
So on the European tour that we just now finished, we just got home from that. We were out there for 2 months. Every day for the tour, I would go out by the audience earlier, like I'm talking outside, and I would just choose a fan. And I would tell them, "Hey, I'm about to give you an experience you didn't think you were going to have." And I would have that fan accompany me for the whole concert.
Wow.
Nice.
They would get to meet Akon, hang out with us backstage, eat with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would, every single stop that we went to, I did that.
Wow.
Just, hey, you come on. You wanna see the concert up close? You know what I'm saying? And
Change their life.
yeah.
Change their life.
Sure. But like I say, it takes nothing from you to do something like that for someone.
Yep.
It takes nothing from you to give someone that extra experience. Sometimes I will go places and someone might tell me, "Man, your concert was sold out the minute it went online." And I would say, "Hey, you want to come to the show? Just come on. You come on with me." And minds are blown when they hear things like that or see things like that, you know. And like I say, man, that might be one passing for us, but this will be a lifetime of a memory for that person or for those people. You know what I mean? They will take this on for the rest of their lives. They will remember this, like, man, one time this is what happened to me. You know what I mean? For me, it's another show, it's another concert. So when you're able to do things like that, it's like, you know, you can really make someone's day. You can make their week. You can make their life by doing a small gesture like that. There's nothing wrong with doing that.
Yep.
I agree with you. I had it wasn't with an art, like an artist, it was with an actor. I had worked, I think it was one of the first big movie sets that I worked on. It was the movie back, probably, God, I could be dating myself. So it was like in the late 90s, but it was with Jennifer Lopez and George Clooney, Ving Rhames, Don Cheadle. And so when we worked on there, of course, the producers came out and they said, "Hey, you know, don't try to take pictures with them. You know, don't really talk with them. They're teams that they don't really want to be bothered." And I'm looking like, they're just people. Like, you know, I feel like, okay. So there was like, just, you know, just don't treat them like, just let them be. So we're like, everybody's like, okay. So when George Clooney walked into where we were eating, everybody's like, "I think it's George Clooney." So look, I was like, "Damn, it is." So he came and he sat at the table with us and he's like, "You guys mind if I eat with you guys?" So we're like, "No." So he had this little lighter. He kept doing this thing in a movie, so he kept doing it during the time. I didn't know that was going to be a part of his scene. Then Don Cheadle came in, and Isaiah Washington came in. Two different experiences with those two. One was humble. One I was shocked. I won't say who was what. I was very disappointed in one of them because I was like, wow, like they embarrassed someone. I watched them embarrass somebody, and at that time I was young, so it was an older person, and I wanted to say something, but I was like, oh, I might get kicked off the set, or security probably gonna rush me to the ground or something, But I was just like, I wanted to stand up for this woman, but George was like, hey, if you guys want to take pictures, I'm all for it. I know they normally say that, but hey, I've never been to Detroit before. It's cold here. We didn't know how to dress and making jokes or whatever. But when I left, that was the highlight for me. That was an imprint upon me that made me say, you know what? I think he was one of the first big celebrities I ever met in my life. And I was like, he was humble. And I appreciated that. And that's almost 30 years ago, probably.
And keep in mind, you're saying that was in the 90s, correct?
Yeah.
And you're still able to talk about that story today. But for him, he would never even remember that he sat in this room to eat and he was flicking this lighter that day. So you see the difference for people is that for him it's just another movie. It was just another set.
Yes.
For you, it was an experience of a lifetime to be able to sit at that table and have him come and sit at that same table with you and have a conversation.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So again, sometimes those small gestures can go so far. And sometimes people are interested in the small gestures and some people are not. But you got to respect them either which way. However they feel to go about their way, their life, their celebrity, hey, that's on them. You know what I mean? If his team, or like you said, the producer, whoever came and said, hey, don't take pictures with them or don't do whatever, don't speak to them. Okay, cool. That's respect. You know what I mean? Let the artists themselves put themselves in that position to say, yeah, I came over and had a conversation with them, or you know what I mean? Whatever is the case. But I'm glad George Clooney was able to do that. But like I said, so everybody handles celebrity or being a celebrity different. Everybody does. So as you say, Isaiah Washington and Don Cheadle came in, and it was a different experience from one of them.
Yeah.
And George Clooney was moving the way he did. But again, everybody handles being a celebrity different. So you can't expect that because George Clooney was so cool, everybody else is cool. You can't do that because they're not.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean? They're not your friend, and they don't need to be your friend. You know what I mean? So, I just want people to think about that type of a thing when they encounter these celebrities in some way, because sometimes fans, they can do things just off the whim and not even realize that they're being disrespectful or they're being a bit too much at the time either. You know what I mean? Sometimes I have to explain to someone like, hey, I'm a human just like you. You know what I'm saying? I get tired just like you. I'm hungry just like you. I would love to sit here and just eat my food because I haven't eaten for however long. But from the fans' perspective, this is my one and only opportunity that I am ever going to see this person.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take my shot at saying something to this person. So, you just got to think of things like that from all perspectives. You just have to be a thinking person from all perspectives when approaching any of these type of situations.
Yep. It's
Well,
crazy.
fellas, I appreciate y'all for giving me more time than I was supposed to get with y'all. As y'all ain't got me spoiled, but I'm gonna just say, listen. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to have you guys come back again, of course, with DJ Invisible. Hope when he's not doing an event, so we can really have that good one-on-one. There's some questions, of course, I wanted to ask
You already know. All you gotta do is let me know. I'm
I
there.
know.
Right.
And I know, same with me. I appreciate that love. But on our way out, one piece of advice that you are welcome, Miss Rashida. She just been engaging. Shout out to Rashida Etheridge. Okay.
Big ups, Rashida.
What
Yes,
up,
yes,
Rashida? What up? What
yes.
up?
Big love to her.
And your sister, Victoria,
Yeah,
correct?
my sister Victoria.
Yeah, there
Yes,
you go.
Victoria.
What
Yeah,
up,
she gonna be trying to
Victoria?
come to the
Peace,
show when you come
Victoria.
here. Yeah, great interview,
Okay.
guy. KRock. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So, one piece of advice that you want to leave with a seasoned DJ who's in the industry, whether they're on the level where you guys are, if they're a club DJ, if they're a radio DJ, I don't know. There's different levels, and that's something else I wanted to talk to you guys about, the different levels of DJs, but that's for the next show. What advice would you want to give to that DJ that might feel like things are changing? I haven't really found my way, because you guys are, even though you guys DJ, you guys are different. Um, not just because you're individually different, of course, but your style, the way you guys, I've seen you guys both in your element, and always rocking, but it's just like they're different. You're not going to be the
Yeah.
same. You're not going to get the same from each other. So what would you tell somebody who say, I'm struggling with standing out from everybody else? KRock.
You just gotta try and jump in every picture. You know what I mean? You gotta try and talk to, who's willing to listen. You gotta listen to, and you gotta make sure your craft is on point. You know, this industry will suck you up, and if you're not ready for it, you'll be spit out trying to figure out on the sideline, trying to figure out how I can get back in it or get in it. You know, just pay attention, listen to people, that are in the business, and show your craft and just try and be different from everybody else. You know, that's what stands out right now is being different from everybody else, but making sure that your skills is up to par. Keep it short.
Okay, cool. Benny D.
I have two words of advice that I always give to people. Practice makes perfect. I know we've heard that before, but there's I can't stress enough how much if you're wanting to be a better DJ or a better person within your field, practice, 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 practice. Practice makes perfect. And two, um, treat everyone with respect. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's the person that's sweeping up around you or if it's your idol of an artist or entertainer. Treat everyone with respect because you never know where that person is going to be a year from now. Okay?
Yeah.
I've seen people, like myself included, when I first moved to America from the Virgin Islands, I was homeless, living in a recording studio, sometimes living out of a car, other times. Okay? And not my car. All right? And while being in the studio, I was the runner, so to say. I would have to go down the street to go get beer or cigarillos or whatever for the artists that were coming through to the studio that I was staying at. But while being at that studio, I was doing things for one cat named Little J. I was doing some things for another cat named Soul Messiah. I was doing stuff for different people. Lil J, as we turn out later on in life, turned into being Young Jeezy.
Wow.
Okay? And every time Young Jeezy sees me now, he looks at me like, damn, Benny D, like, you were the guy cleaning up the studio. Who would have even thought that you had the talent that you have if we all just treated you as the person cleaning up the studio or running to the store for us?
Yeah.
Okay. So because a lot of those guys or whoever came through didn't treat me like a peon, as I graduated within my industry, um, I've always had a big respect for them. They've had a bigger respect for me, and it's been all love. And I have those relationships up to now. You see what I'm saying? So treat everyone with respect, because again, you never know where that person is going to be a year from now. That's me.
I love it. Well, I appreciate you, my brothers. Much love to you guys both. Denny, when you come back to the D, swing around this town somewhere, you got, let me know, because we coming out. KRock, I told Swifty you guys are coming close in July.
Cincinnati,
And
July
yes,
25th. Cincinnati,
25th, July
July
25th.
25th. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
And so we could talk about the cake. I don't know. So Benny D, listen, one of these days when we can all get in the same vicinity or whatever, he kills with baking. He brought a cake. Oh my God. He brought, I still don't know how he transported the cake, but even my boys, like, we brought some cake back from Chicago because we came out to see KRock do this show out there. And that's a whole nother thing. We'll save that for the next time, because that was a beautiful experience I witnessed. But the cake, Benny, the cake, oh my God. And so KRock said if we make it out to that show in Cincinnati, he'll think about making a cake. So yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not too big on sweets and stuff. I'm a Caribbean man, so I like a lot of natural fruits that I pick from the trees and everything. But kudos to the cakes and everything.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
yeah.
But one thing I will say, TT,
Uh,
just make sure that you got to spell my name correctly, because it has Demas with an AS and it's
it's supposed to be ES.
US.
US.
Benny Demas,
Yeah, yeah.
US. So long as we get that straight, it'll be good.
Oh,
Just make a disclaimer after.
yeah, I will. I
Yeah,
will. And thank you for not choking me out or shooting me a tip.
no problem at all.
Because that is your brand. So I need to go and rectify that, and I shall do that.
No problem at all.
I appreciate that. But yes, much love to you both. You guys have a wonderful evening for the rest of this time, week, month. I will see you guys before this year ends. I'm sure of it. And I just love what y'all doing. I love your humility. Thank you for all the jewels that you dropped tonight, because I know y'all share some stuff, not only with the comments I could see over here, some I was able to share, some I did not, but it was just so educational and really profound. But just your humbling spirits, like, just who you guys see, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly who they are in person. You just seeing them through the screen. So I love you guys both. I appreciate y'all, and I will see you guys next time.
Thank you.
All
All right,
right.
y'all.
All right.
Respect.
Salute.
Good night.
Peace.
Yeah. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, what a show! 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 And Benny D, thank you for not cutting me. And I'm gonna rectify and get this all together. As a matter of fact, I wonder if I could do something with this right now. I've never tried this before, but we're gonna see if I can at this point. I just feel that tonight there was a lot of jewels dropped. I saw your comments. I tried to share as many of the comments I could with the crew. If you guys checked out earlier, DJ Invincible was on here. He was actually doing a 8th grade party, and so he just said, you know what, I'm not gonna cancel on you, TT. I'm gonna keep it rocking and keep it going, and so I appreciate that. I do plan to have them come back for a part 4 for them, the Industry Connect. And for all of our people that are trying to learn about the industry, thank you, Miss Rashida. Shout out to you, Queen. I appreciate you for hanging around and sticking around. Thank you so much. In this industry, as the fellas shared, you got to learn the business. If you don't know the business, learn the business. Learn the business, learn the business, so you can get your just due. A lot of times people will use you for your skill set. When we just want to be in the know, shout out to Courtney Benjamin. He was always telling me, It's about positioning yourself, right? And so I take that to heed. My husband, shout out to my husband, Swifty McVeigh. He's always just like, hey, do what you do because you do it well, and just keep fine tuning your craft. And it's kind of like what Benny D said, practice makes perfect. And you hear that, it's cliche, right? But it's true, right? When I started with my podcasting with the visual side of things, I didn't know, right? And so every time I do a show, I'm always nervous. And it doesn't matter if I'm interviewing my husband, I'm still nervous, right? And I think it's because you get that energy. And then when you get into that space and you position yourself and you realize you know what you're doing, you're fine-tuning it. So for every man, woman, boy, or girl, because I know I got viewers that are all ages, just keep doing what you do and know that iron sharpens iron. As the fellas said earlier, in their own ways, circle yourself around people who are doing what you're doing in that area, that field of what you're doing. I think Rashida said it earlier. I think that we're not in competition. Like, people should be in competition, and you shouldn't. There's a lane for all of us, no matter where you start, right? We're all going to get to that end finish line, some sooner than others, some later than others, but just getting there, that's the ultimate goal. So it don't matter how long it takes you to get there. You heard all three of the fellas, DJ Invisible, DJ Benny D, DJ KRock, share that they've been in this industry for a long time. And they fine-tuned and they worked at it and they worked at it and they've gotten better and they've gotten better. And they can only get greater. So I just want to leave somebody with that encouragement to just keep going. Don't stop. No matter what it is, don't let nobody tell you that you can't do what you know you can do. If God gave you a gift and a skill set, maybe the people or the person you're trying to do it with is not who you're supposed to be aligned with. Reevaluate that plan. So it's your girl TT from the D. You can find us here for Tap In Tuesdays. You never know who's going to be coming through. As you can see, I love to provide a platform with humbling people who will share wisdom, knowledge, encouragement, and motivation, and teach you something that you may not have known. That is what I think I love most about being a podcaster, is that I have the opportunity to have one-on-ones to get information about that person or those people and share it with you, my viewers, my supporters. And I appreciate you guys for always rocking with me and tapping in, and even staying on as long as you did, because y'all know we over the hour mark. But I'm going to close us out with a video. Let's see. I'm going to get in. I'm going to play. Let me see. What video I want to play from what artist? I think I'm going to do. I haven't played My Why by Kanava and Swifty McVeigh. Y'all know them fellas from D12. So I'm going to play that on our closing. Good night to everybody. We'll see you next Tuesday for Tap In Tuesday. And don't forget, you can catch me on my other platform on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts for the Top of the Morning Show, Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. It's your girl, Titi from
Well, alright. See what you never understand it. And this is the way that we planned it. Thank you for what God and the fans did. My family that took all the chances. So hating ain't getting you nowhere. I can't even hear you, I'm too high. I can't even hear you, I'm too high. You'll never be louder than my Never be, never be, never be, never be, never be, never be louder than my Never be, never be, never be louder than mine.
Are you backstabbers coming with a million daggers? Why you mad at us? Probably cause we platinum status. And we down with Marshall Mathers. We created a path for a lot of you rappers in the past. A lot of people thought we wouldn't last. Back in the days when we was trapping on the Ave and rapping in the class. A lot of people laughing, they doubted us. When shitty records scouted us, they was flocking around trying to be down, they was fond of us. And when we was anonymous, then people was nowhere to be found. When proof was laid down, it created a ghost town. A lot of people started to clown. Dirty bastards, handing me a mixtape, standing right in front of his casket. Now wow, you thought that we would never let it go? When y'all the reason I'm more petty than before. Back when money was flowing heavy in the dough, standing backstage at every other show. Things done changed, phone don't ring. Couldn't even tell me my son's name. All that money that I gave away, stabbed me in the back, smiling in my face. Couldn't even wait to the funeral before I got a phone call.
Let's do a tribute song.
Hell no, I wasn't around y'all. If you don't know me, that's a tip I'm on. Still strong, me and Kaniva got it poppin'. Don't try to ride along. I'm pushing these rappers off of the bandwagon. Dirty Dozen, still tatted on my arm.
See what you never understand it. It this is the way that we planned it. Thank you for what God and the fans did. My family that took all the chances. So hating ain't getting you nowhere. I can't even hear you, I'm too high. I can't even hear you, I'm too high. You'll never be louder than my Never be louder than my Never be.
Young Marty, back up. Young Marty, back up. Hey, shut up, stupid.
Well, alright. It's amazing how time flies and things change. Familiar faces turn to strangers. Stop hanging with people who put me in almost everything except for their prayers. Niggas swear they look out for you, steady scheming. Be right with you, not in they head agreeing. As soon as they think that you sleeping, they try to finesse you and sell you a dream. And look, I ain't got time for it. You want yours, better grind for it. It's like attention replace respect these days. The way you niggas out here straight dying for it. I'm a grown man on my own too. They don't appreciate your time, move on, dude. They know what they be doing, they be wrong too. You do the most dirt, say somebody wrong you. Look, nigga, I'm trying to put this shit behind me. I know where I'm from, you ain't gotta remind me. I come from the gutter, yo, it's still inside me. Keep looking for the old me, you gon' find him. That's how it is that way. For those who act fake, I've outgrown you, I can't relate. Mentally, you in the same old place, falling in and out with people in your circle. Nothing personal, yeah it is. Those close to me, y'all know what it is. Grown folks talk, you don't get it. When you visit, you can sit at the little table and eat with the kids. You gotta do what's best for you, even when the devil's at his best and he's testing you. Buckle down and keep pressing through. Don't let the stress of betrayal mess up your blessings, do.
See what you never understand it. This is the way that we planned it. Thank you for what God and the fans did. My family that took all the chances. So hating ain't getting you nowhere. I can't even hear you, I'm too high. I can't even hear you, I'm too high. You'll never be louder than my Never be louder than my Never be louder than my
I'm drunk to the motherfucker, man.
I'm drunk to the motherfucker.
You can't even stand up.
You know what I'm saying? I can't stand up. You wanna stand up and wind up with Kaniva? Come on, man. He's spitting lava.
I'm out of here.